Meet the Black Karen. She's gonna tell us how she messed up bad and fumbled a man that she should have married. Oh, but wait, there's so much more to her story. You gotta listen to this.
I fumbled the man I probably should have married. And I'm making this post so that y'all don't do the same thing that I did. I met him on Hinge, and this was back when the algorithm was working a lot better. And it was like 2022, I believe. I didn't like his profile. I just knew he was gonna like me. And the next day he did. Normally I name names, but just in case he has a new girl and they're at peace, I don't want to disrupt his
The arrogance already. I just knew he was gonna like me, and the next day he did.
situation, so I'm not gonna name his name. But anyway, we met up quickly, we went on a date, and we ended up being like glued to each other pretty fast. We were like in a relationship within like a month, I believe. This man was fine. He was like 6'3", buff, long hair.
Okay, so I want to tell you guys already. 6'3", buff, long hair. That's why she met up with him fast. Most of these jokers like to choose a man based off his height, based off the fact that does he have any muscles, and that's it. That's what she was going by initially, I guarantee you.
Like Roman Reigns, society would easily give him a 9. But frankly, his looks were pretty irrelevant, honestly. He actually was very kind, very sweet, very empathetic, very emotional, very in tune with his emotions, but also quite emotional. And, you know, he just had a lot of very positive traits.
So that's everything y'all say y'all want in a man, right? Why would you fumble a man like that? He has everything, the looks and the emotional availability.
The number one being, he did not play about me at all. We went to brunch with his brother and sister-in-law, and they were kind of cold, like not really like, I don't know, warming up to me. And he called that out immediately. He was like, absolutely not. I had never in my life dated a man like that. I had never dated a man who was on my side. I don't know, defended me. I've never had that before.
Is her center console tore up in the middle? Because it looks like it's destroyed. What the hell is going on with her car?
Also impressed my parents. My mom liked him a lot. She said I broke his heart, and honestly, I agree. But yes, my parents liked him a lot. So we dated for like 6 months, and I kept...
Once again, another green flag, but you still chose to break his heart. Wow.
feeling like something was just missing throughout the relationship. Like something just felt like it was missing. And I would communicate that to him like, oh, I like you a lot. I love you. But like something's just missing.
What could possibly be missing at this point? This is everything that y'all women always say that y'all want. What could be missing?
And I didn't know what it was. And this poor guy was just doing his best to try to figure out what was missing, like trying to make adjustments. But like he just couldn't figure it out, and neither could I. Because I didn't have the self-awareness that I have now. What was missing was chaos. No matter how many adjustments he was willing to make, he couldn't adjust himself to become a chaotic, toxic man when he just wasn't that. And that's all I had ever been used to.
You see that, folks? Look, this is why I tell you all the time to leave these jokers alone. It is best for you to try to find a woman that has had little to no relationship experience, so she has not gone through all of this stuff. Once they've been in one bad toxic relationship, that is enough to ruin her for the rest of her life.
I had not taken the time to like truly heal myself after my relationship prior to him, which was with an abusive guy. Very abusive, emotionally avoidant guy. Emotionally unavailable, everything. Okay, I had not healed from that. Not enough to be with a person who was safe. And so one day when he pissed me off, I broke up with him like on a whim. Because the majority of my prior relationships were with like antagonistic men, I was not ready to receive someone who was safe and loving and kind and caring. Maybe I didn't think I deserved it. Maybe I couldn't recognize what it was. My nervous system didn't know what to do with safe. My parents were kind of emotionally unavailable.
I want y'all to just look at her, how she's speaking throughout this video. She has no emotion, or she's not crying about this. She's not sad. She doesn't appear that she is bothered at all. It's like she's just telling a story about her going shopping at the mall. Just look at how she is.
Growing up in that dynamic, you kind of look for that in partners as well. So I ended up with emotionally unavailable men back to back to back. For a while, what I felt like the relationship was lacking.
This is not the woman. I don't care if she says she's healed. She went to therapy 50,000 times. This is not the woman for you to pursue. I don't care how good she looks. Get the hell away from a woman like this. Never, ever deal with a joker like this.
Was him being a true leader. He would defer to me to make a lot of decisions because he felt like I was more intelligent than him. He would want me to like plan stuff. He would want me to just like...
Now she's complaining about something else.
Make a lot of choices that I felt like the man should make. And I just didn't want to do that. I wanted like a leader in the way that I saw leader, how I viewed it. But
now he wasn't a leader.
Like... knowing that he has weaknesses and that I have strengths, and then deferring to me where he's weak and letting him take the reins where he's strong is leadership. Like, okay, he could lead when it comes to protecting and providing and whatever, but he may have needed help with planning and stuff that he's not so good at. But I just couldn't see that at the time because I was dumb. I thought I needed 10 out of 10 boxes checked. But relationships are not found, they are built. Soulmates are built. If the person is at 7 or 8 and the last 2 need some work, you can meet them halfway. They can meet you halfway. Adjustments can be made. You don't have to break up. So though he had 8 of my 10 boxes, I was still too traumatized to accept him. I couldn't regulate my own nervous system fully yet. I had gotten to that point at 25 and met a very abusive man at 26, and I lost all my progress. So I still needed chaos, and I ruined it. The next guy I dated after that ended up being another avoidant who was emotionally unavailable and ended up breaking my heart worse than anybody else I'd ever experienced in my.
Look what she went right back to, folks. Look what she had the perfect guy with the height, the body, emotional availability, but she still went back to the toxic man that did her so bad. Look.
So I got my karma pretty fast, I guess. Men, come to the front. This video is for you. A lot of y'all saw my last video and ran straight to the comments like moths flocking to a light. And so many of you basically the same thing. So let's talk about it. You guys call me a dumbass, an idiot, you call me mid, you said I deserve nothing, you said I want abuse, I deserve abuse, you said that I will never find anybody to ever.
Now she's upset with the men who came in her comments of her public video that she told this story about. Now she's mad at the men.
Care for me again in my life. And that was all because I told one story about one man that I mishandled years ago because I wasn't healed enough for that relationship. Some people even went as far as to saying no woman has ever said that before. Are y'all okay?
Well, that's all we need to hear what she has to say regarding this video. But you heard her. She said that relationship happened years ago. But even after that, she chose a man that was way worse than any other man she had been with in her whole lifetime. Going back to the toxic men that she actually really likes. Now, we're getting to the good part. Let me show you what else she was doing.
Unhinged story time about when I went out and every guy that hit on me, I took their number, and at the end of the night, I invited them all back to my apartment to compete for my love. So this happened a few years ago. Again, I'm gonna make a series called Dumbest Things I've Ever Done, and this might land around like number 3, because I've done some really dumb stuff. I went out with my 2.
Look at these jokers. They just get on the internet these days. Dumbest things I've ever done. Yeah, let me post about that.
I guess I'm just a very extra person, and when I get an idea, no one can convince me not to do it. I'm not afraid of danger. Danger is afraid of me. So I'm going through the night. I'll post my outfit of.
You know, these will be the exact same women who will later come on the internet and talk about it's all men till it's no men, how dangerous men are, how men just want to take it from women. They will say those very same things while at the same time putting themselves in all of this danger and telling us that I'm not afraid of danger. Danger's afraid of me.
Of course, per usual, overlay my outfit so you guys can see what I was wearing. And I'm talking to guys and they're talking to me. I'm just like collecting numbers. And, you know, at the end of the night, I was kind of bored. We were sitting down and I was like, I'm going to invite all those dudes back to my apartment. I think it's important to note that
What?
I loved entertaining at my apartment. I had a really nice apartment. It had crazy high ceilings. It was a great location in Charlotte. And people would just come to my back door. My patio faced the street. And
These
I would just
jokers
let
are
them in,
completely
like friends
gone,
of mine.
folks.
And we went home. We went back to my apartment, and the people started to arrive at my place. And I'm gonna post a picture because I backed up and took a picture of my kitchen. I'm like, why are all these strangers in my house right now? Like, did they really actually come over?
Do y'all hear this? Why are all these strangers in my house right now? You told them.
They did. So when I realized that these men were actually coming, I kind of chickened out because that's extremely unhinged and crazy to do in the first place. So I invited like 2 other girls over just to kind of balance out the scales or whatever the case may be. And yeah, we ended up like taking a couple of shots and having a decently fun get together at my house.
Think about the danger and think about later on what could actually happen. One of those guys decided to come back, break in, do whatever he wanted to do with her while she was asleep or not sleep, whatever. Just think about the danger she's putting herself in. A bunch of random guys that you just met at the bar.
Trying to talk to me one by one. And it kind of was like being on a love dating show in that moment. And
Look at the logic of that, folks. In her mind, this is like being on a love dating show if I just invite a whole bunch of random guys to my apartment.
somehow, some way, I came out of that unscathed. No one else ever came back to my house. No one else ever tried to do anything. One guy had an attitude. He was like, why would you do this? Why would you have me over here with all these other dudes? And I had no explanation because why would I do that? No clue.
Look at the receipts a woman like her keeps. She probably has every single text message that every guy has ever texted her. She's ever texted every guy. What's even worse, she's willing to put all of this stuff on the internet and expose any man just for some content.
Everyone ended up leaving at like 4 in the morning, and I only ever talked to like one.
She said 4 a.m. in the morning, but you see what she did on the video? She put 5 a.m. on the actual screen.
Or 2 of them after that. A recurring theme in my stories is like how do I always end up okay? Like, I don't know myself, but I guess God
You
just.
go out to a bar and you get tore up, right? You've been drinking a lot. We know that you probably was tore up. You invite a bunch of random men back to your house, and then you have them stay at your home until 5 a.m. in the morning. And then she's probably leaving out a whole bunch of evidence. What else? She probably slept with one of these guys, or maybe multiple guys. Maybe there was a train. Who knows? Listen, I provide a lot of these videos as evidence to more and more men. I don't care how good you think she looks. I don't care about the body she has. None of that. Listen to these jokers, watch them very carefully, and once you determine they're a joker, leave them alone.